Well, Lance McCullers Jr. returned to the mound today. I was there, was able to take that in. The Astros win their first series against the Mets. They face the Giants next. Eric and I are here to talk about all the things going on in the Houston Astros world. Let's get started right now.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on X at Eric Talks Astros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok, at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, at Back to the Bullpen on X, on YouTube, on iHeartRadio, and at Orion's Belt, a new Space Cowboys podcast that's going to launch this week. Look, no matter where you find me, I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. Go and check out Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros postcast as well. He does a great job. But today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So, Brett, I know that this weekend was kind of weird. The fact that the Astros were having trouble with extra base hits. You would think that a team with all the power that the Astros have, that you would not be struggling to get extra base hits. But here we are. Also, there was no game on Sunday. This was kind of weird. You're so used to Sunday being a baseball game day,
right?
But unfortunately, I guess you don't have that situation there. But you had the 3 games versus Mets. You won 2 out of 3 of them. Thankfully, the pitching really stepped up in the series. We're going to talk about the stats. You have some stats for us in a little bit, but the offense is really sputtering a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that over a long haul. Jeremy Pena had that great line drive home run to the Crawford boxes, and Isak Paredes, he is doing something that the Astros wanted him to go out and do, to take pitches. And so we'll talk about that. But the big story today is Lance McCullers. Go and tell us what you saw.
Look, Lance McCullers came up, and Hyesung Kim was actually the first guy that he faced, a major league player. And this guy comes up, and they're the Oklahoma City Comets. They're not the Oklahoma City Dodgers anymore. I actually asked one of the players, and I don't know if he was a bullpen catcher or backup catcher, but I asked him, I said, what is the story behind the name Comets? He said, it has something to do with Oklahoma, but nobody's told us. So I thought that was funny. Oops, lack of communication there. And so Lance McCullers came out, Eric, and his first 3 batters, he got all 3 batters swinging on strikes. He was mixing his changeup in a lot. He was throwing his fastball. He got up to 93, 94. He looked really good. Second inning, he gave up a couple hits. There was a dropped ball in center field by one, I believe it was Quincy Hamilton. And so that scored a couple runs. He gave up 2 runs, but he looked good. He had the 3 strikeouts. He got the last couple hitters to pop out and ground out. I think there's a line out as well. And he had 35 pitches. I was told from another member of the media that Joe Espada had said that he was looking to go 2 innings or 35 pitches, which one he got to first. And he literally pitched 35 pitches. And which, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this, but Joe Espada, and also the Astros GM and Joe Espada were both there at Consolation Field today. So sorry, I was having some issues. I'm tired. I've been talking to people all day at the ballpark, but it was great seeing Lance. And if y'all haven't checked it out, we have the full interview courtesy of KHOU and Jason Bristol, and also Luis Ortiz shared that with us. So hopefully whenever there's other rehab starts, we'll be able to get y'all that press. We put subtitles on there for y'all, and just go listen to Lance's words. The key though, after this, Eric, is going to be, how does he feel tomorrow?
Right.
How does he feel the next day? And then, he had explained how a rehab start for a starter is a lot longer process because you have to wait the 5 or 6 days, where a relief pitcher, you can wait 1 or 2 and go back out. So they're gonna slow walk it. He'll go 3 innings next game. He said he felt like he could go 3 today, but next game he'll go 3. Hopefully he's saying I can go 4. I think you get 4 solid starts in AAA, and Lance McCullers makes his way back to Dyken Park.
I think the big positive here was the 94.9 miles per hour. That's how much he threw. So he's getting close to 95 miles per hour. Sinker was at 93.1. So he looked like he had control, and overall it was a good first start. I know he pitched in spring training, but this is a little bit different game. These games count. And so this is a situation where he's pitching not in front of the hometown, but basically Sugar Land is kind of the hometown. There's probably a lot of Astros fans there, especially with the day off. So I think that it was good to see him out there. It's good to see him get that confidence back out there, because this is a guy that really hasn't pitched in 2 years. So he's getting the confidence out there, and I'm glad to see that Espada went out there and Brown, just to, if nothing else, for support.
And from what I understand, I think some of the players were there, but look, they didn't let us know. They didn't even say anything to us in the press box. Daniel's asking, could we see him mid-April? I wouldn't say mid-April, because we're already on. No, I mean, if he has 3 more starts in him, we won't see him till, I would say, mid-May. Mid-May is probably the soonest. But that's the soonest. It all depends on how it goes. There's no way to project this. There's no way to predict this. He didn't have the emotions that he had the first time he got on the mound in spring training, because he said he had kind of gotten that out of his system, which is a good thing. So I'm not saying he's in midseason form, but when he walked onto the field, Eric, he looked like Lance McCullers. Like, he looked confident. And then he went out and dealt three swinging strikeouts. That was nice to see.
Yeah, I think that I would say late April, and earliest it'd probably be, I guess the latest would be mid-May. It just all depends on what's going on. So it's just good to see him out there and pitching again. So that, I know that a lot of people said that he couldn't do anything, but if you're looking at what the Astros did this offseason, yeah, they didn't bring back Bregman. They traded away Kyle Tucker, but you're seeing some of the benefits of trading Kyle Tucker already. You're seeing Isak Paredes. He's a guy that the Astros tried to trade for last year. He ended up going to the Cubs, but he's a patient guy. He's a guy that hits a lot of home runs to the Crawford boxes area. And we saw him with a couple deep drives. We saw him with a home run during the exhibition game. He hasn't hit a home run yet with the Astros, but time will come. But basically, in a series with the Mets, in 3 games, 12 plate appearances, he saw 65 pitches. Mauricio Dubon said, I probably didn't see 65 pitches in half of the season last year. So that's a lot of pitches. I mean, you're talking about a team that last year, Dana Brown said, was super aggressive. It's led by Jose Altuve, who's swinging from his toes sometimes. But this is a guy that the Astros need. This is why he's batting second.
Exactly, batting second, but also, Eric, because of his glove. Look, he does have the highest defensive WAR after these first 3 games at 0.61. He has an OOA of 1 and a DRS of 1. That is huge. That is a massive addition, because when you lose someone like Alex Bregman, yes, you want to replace not only the home runs, but the glove. And he did an admirable job this weekend. And look, I think the hits are going to come for this team. I think there was a lot of, for all the talk of the strikeouts with Christian Walker, he was hitting the ball 105 plus miles an hour every time. He was just hitting them to the wrong people and to the wrong spots. Isak Paredes, give him time. The dude took a couple foul balls to left field that, oh my gosh, if he sits on those breaking pitches a little bit more, you're talking two, maybe 3 home runs over the weekend. So right. I think Paredes is going to lock in, and I'm glad you talked about that, because his impact is important, because we didn't know, well, gosh, are they going to move him to second? Is he going to stay at third? And he has really come in. He's got to score 1 of the runs. He got on base. And so the Astros just need to work on hitting with runners in scoring position and extra base hits, Eric. So we can talk about that after our first break tonight.
And we'll also talk about how the Astros pitching carried the Astros in the first series and how good are they compared to the rest of the league. Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
If you have a pulse in Houston, you just saw that the University of Houston Cougars made it to the Final Four. That's right. And yours truly, guess what? I had all 4 number 1 picks in both of my brackets. Now, March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. Just like when you go and you look at that underdog, who is the underdog with Duke and U of H? Well, you know what? Guess what? U of H is the underdog. Go ahead and pick the Cougars. That's right. I have them going all the way, cutting down the final net with the tournament games happening, almost every day. Now we got a couple days this next week. It's exciting to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple to use. And when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com today and get in on college hoops action all tournament long.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. Joe Espada, to close out on Paredes, he said that stuff matters. If you do that throughout the season, you're going to find yourself getting on base, giving your teammates opportunity to hit with people on base, and you're going to get yourself some good pitches to hit. Plus, you're going to wear down the opposing pitchers. I remember sometimes last year where it would be like 3 innings and the other pitcher would have thrown like 15 pitches or something like that. So this is a guy that's going to make the pitchers work. Speaking of pitchers working, the Astros pitchers have been working so far. Even Hunter Brown, he got the loss on Friday, but he didn't pitch terrible. He only gave up 3 runs. The offense just didn't score any runs. So where do the Astros rank in terms of baseball right now?
So right now with pitching, I mean, these guys are, let's see, if I look in my Rolodex of FanGraph stats, they are 5th in WAR with 0.5. They are 6th in FIP, 2.86. And left on base percentage, they're 85.9%. They rank 5th, Eric. And so this is huge. I would like to see the strikeouts per 9 to go out, but they are at 9 strikeouts per 9. The Phillies lead the league with 13.26. But we're playing the Giants. Okay. What do the Giants do? Do they give up home runs? Right now, it looks like the San Francisco Giants give up 1.06 home runs per 9 innings, where the Astros only give up 0.33. So that bodes well for the Houston Astros going up against the Giants. The Giants are towards the bottom of the league. They are currently 1-1 with their starting pitchers. The Giants do have 1 save. But the Houston Astros, pitching wise, is where this team is. It is our bread and butter, because if it wasn't our bread and butter, we've got the 7th highest strikeout rate. Actually, I'm sorry, 16th highest strikeout rate, 22.8%. The Giants have the 7th highest, so that bodes well for our pitchers. We are 5th in walk to K ratio, and that's good. But here's my problem with that. We're 5th. We walked a lot. We saw a lot of pitches, but we went down looking a lot. We got on base and we couldn't produce the run. We couldn't get the runs across.
Made hard contact too.
Now, so look, I'm giving you this. This is 3 games. This is a very small sample size. I'm not saying this determines the season, but the pitching held up because we were 27th in WRC plus with 57. We are 27th in WOBA, 246. We are negative 4.9 in runs above average. In WRC, we are 24th with negative 6. What that is weighted runs created. Okay, now here's the deal. What these metrics are telling me is the Astros are either hitting the ball to somebody or they're getting on base, and then when they get the opportunity to score, they're not scoring. Bases loaded against the Mets, both Yordan Alvarez and Christian Walker down on strikes, down looking, down swinging, whatever it is, doesn't matter. They didn't produce anything. If that comes up, if the Astros just hit a little bit better. You're scoring a lot more runs, and this pitching staff will be able to breathe a lot easier.
Yes. So I think the Astros have a pretty good pitching matchup. It's going to be Blanco on tomorrow. It's, of course, this will be his first start. He's going to be facing Hicks. I believe that they're going to be going for game 2. They're going to go and put Framber Valdez in turn on the 5th day, and then they're going to go ahead and have Hunter Wisniewski go the next day.
Yeah, so Blanco then Wisniewski, and then Framber Valdez. So
I thought I saw that they were going to do it. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, so Wisniewski's on Tuesday versus Logan Webb, and then Valdez is versus Roop on Wednesday. So Wisniewski will make his first major league start. His whole family was there on opening day. I saw like 8 people going to a valet parked vehicle. They all had Wisniewski jerseys. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's his family. And so I'm sure he's chomping at the bit. I think he feels really good about his spring, Eric, so that'll be good. The Houston Astros, though, going up here against the Giants, they're not world beaters, but they do have some good hitters. Willie Adames, who signed a big contract. They do have Matt Chapman, the guy who kept Alex Bregman from one of those Gold Gloves. They've got Wilmer Flores. They've got Ramos. This guy Ramos, Eloy Ramos, this kid's a stud. I say kid, he's 25. This young player in his not too long career he's really coming on. He came on in 2024 with 124 hits and 22 home runs. So Ramos is a guy that we're going to have to watch. And I purposely didn't add him because I had dropped some players from a fantasy league. I purposely didn't add him this week because I would have felt bad adding him if he does damage this weekend. I don't like picking players that are playing our team.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do. But
yes, somebody asked, is Justin Verlander pitching against the Astros? No, he is not.
He already pitched. Yeah, he pitched in the first series. He gave up 2 runs. He got a no decision. He had the lead. He gave up I think a 2-run double, 2-run single, and then he exited the game shortly after that. He looked good. But we faced Logan Webb the second game. Logan Webb is always a Cy Young contending type pitcher. So I think the San Francisco Giants series is going to be exciting. Number 1, Eric, Monday, it's going to be the new City Connect jerseys are going to be unveiled, and they're giving away a City Connect Jose Altuve. Now, I don't know if you looked at the bobblehead from this year to last year's City Connect. The City Connect in the blue, Jose Altuve is smiling, and this one he's serious. So I'm like, does this mean he doesn't like the new uniforms? I just thought it was funny that they changed his expression on the bobblehead, but that will be there Monday night. If you go first 10,000 fans get that.
Well, I think it'll be cool to see what they look like on the field and everything. So I know that if you're looking at tomorrow's game, it's going to be Blanco versus Hicks. And I know Webb, if going to Webb, you have Alvarez with a home run. But if you're looking at who's hit a home run against Hicks, it's going to be Christian Walker. So far, Christian Walker, because he's played a lot of these teams, he's actually had a lot of home runs against these guys, but he's batting 500 and with 4 bats with a home run. So the rest of the guys, you have Dubon in 2 bats batting 1,000, and Rogers in 7 bats is batting 286.
There you go. I mean, look, you have to go out and execute. You have the bats, you have the power, you have the plate discipline. You just got to put runs across the board. And I think it's important that the Astros do that and do it efficiently and effectively, because after this 3-game stretch, they actually go out on the road, Eric, and you want to be hitting the ball well, because get this, you go to Minnesota. It's weird. You go to Minnesota, you play Thursday day game, you're off Friday, which I guess the Astros don't mind. And then you play two games in Minnesota. Then you go to the West Coast, to the Mariners. They have a lot of off days, and then they stay, and then they come home for 3 games against the Angels, go back out to St. Louis, then they come in for like a 6-game series. There's a lot of back and forth. These guys are going to be tired. It is good that they have days off, but you want to get the steam train rolling, Eric, and you want to be hitting well, because you know what the Astros do well in Minnesota? They hit well in Minnesota.
Yeah, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Hey, guys, it seems like the Astros are off to a better start than they did in 2024, I guess, being swept by the Yankees like they were last year. 2-1 start to the season is much better. So
Yes.
the Astros need to carry on the success against the Giants. I know the hitting needs to come alive a little bit, but at least the pitching is kind of picking up where it left off last year. So I know that this series is going to be a pretty exciting series. I know that we're going to see what the City Connect jerseys look like. But the better start is what I want to focus on for a second.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that the reason why the Astros were in the situation was they got off to such a horrendous start, not only versus the Yankees, but they got off to such a bad start in April that possibly caused them to have such a bad record, with them ending up in the wild card series and losing to the Tigers. So if they get off to a better start in April, maybe have a winning record, and just try to be around 500 or a winning record for the rest of the time, they may not blow away the division, but you're not going to be in such a bad position as you were last year.
Well, you know, it is March. We're going into April, this end of this week. And the famous saying in baseball goes, you can't win the division in April, but you can lose the division in April.
Right.
You have key games. You have teams. Everybody's chomping at the bit. Everybody's trying to find their place. I do not believe that the Chicago White Sox will stay atop of the American League Central. I do not believe that the Red Sox, who are 1-3, I do not believe in the Yankees that are 3-0. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff going on that if you look at my predictions, nothing is in the right order. The Marlins are 3-1. So does that mean we discount the Astros being 2-1?
What about the Devers? Devers being 0-16 with 12 strikeouts.
Devers is 0-16 because he's a mental case right now because he set himself up for failure.
Right.
And I'm just this is an external observation. I've never had a personal interaction with him whatsoever, nor should I have. I've not been in that situation. But when the press asked him, will you be DH? He's like, nope, I'm a third baseman. He took it hard. Okay. He took it hard, but what he doesn't realize is it wasn't like they gave some hotshot rookie who has promised his position. They gave it to Alex Bregman. Yeah. They gave it to one of the best third basemen in the league. And Rafael Devers has got to get out of his own head. Now, here is the dilemma for the Red Sox. Does this continue? And if it does continue, then Rafael Devers is no good to them as a DH. And if that's the case, does Rafael Devers, I know he's got a massive contract attached to him, but do they try to somehow trade him, do a salary dump? I'm just saying, I'm not saying they will, but man, that is a shocker. He is not in a good place. Hopefully, I believe they're going back to Boston. So if they do that, even if they're not, maybe they're going to Baltimore, I'm not sure, but he needs a day off. He needs a day maybe on the bench to clear his head. But yeah, I saw that. He definitely is affected in a negative way by Bregman taking his position.
And he has to understand that he's had a lot of injuries. He's had a lot of his defense has not been great. And they asked the Red Sox go out and sign this great defender. So, of course, he's going to lose his position. So it's his job to earn it back. He's got to go out there and play great baseball. And when he gets a chance to play third base, he's got to play great defense. He's got to good. So let me see. The Red Sox are at Camden Yards. So
okay, Camden Yards. Okay, so they're playing Baltimore. Oh, guess what? The Rangers can toot their horns. They're 3-1 right now. They've played one more game than the Astros. They have a 3-game winning streak. They lost the first game to Boston. They won the next 3. Look, the Rangers, I think, are our competition this year. I really don't think the Mariners are. I mean, the Mariners are 2-2. Man, they split the series with the Oakland Athletics. I mean, I'm sorry, Sacramento A's. I mean, Las Vegas. I mean, what do we call them? What do we call them?
Just say the A's.
The homeless A's.
18.
How about
18.
No. How about the homeless Athletics? How about that?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to call that, but I think that the
I will.
extra base hits will start coming pretty soon. I know that Alvarez crushed the ball. I believe he got a double on it, but I know that Pena had the home run, but otherwise the Astros haven't had a lot of extra base hits. I don't know if you have that in front of you, but I know it was 17 innings before they had their first extra base hit, but this is a team that's kind of built on power. That power will come. Like Christian Walker, his expected batting average is supposed to be at 375. And it's so because of all the hard hit baseball.
Right.
So they will drop. They will come. The
So
extra base hits will come.
So this is where, I always kind of make fun of the expected numbers and everything. And I remember famously Ryan Stanek making fun of expected numbers. Ryan Stanek actually pitched. He was back in Houston with the Mets and he pitched. And
Right.
So, but yeah, that expected number is crazy. Yeah, when your expected batting average is like 200 points higher than your actual average, then you're getting unlucky. Like I said, 110, 112. I mean, the dude is hitting absolute lasers, just firing missiles from his bat, Eric. Here is the question. Would the Astros be getting extra base hits if they had the famous torpedo bats?
Before we get to that, the Astros have the second worst slugging percentage in baseball. They're at 224.
Wow.
The Mets have the worst at 216. So that just shows the type of pitching that we saw in that series. So maybe it was just two teams that pitch well. So we'll see. But I've been working on a project today. I've saw something about the Brewers are probably waving the white flag with all the home runs they gave up and everything. But what's going on with the Yankees bats and Aaron Judge hitting all the home runs, then Jazz hitting 2 home runs today?
Okay. So I went and looked at the footage of Aaron Judge's home runs. He's still using a regular bat. Look, call Aaron Judge what you want. You love to hate him because he is one of the most lethal home run hitters in all of baseball. Whether he's hitting juice balls or not, I don't care about that. But this is a regular bat. This is a Yainer Diaz. This is actually his bat right here. You see his number, boom, 21. Okay, this is a game used bat from Yainer Diaz, and this is what everybody on the planet's using except the Yankees. What the Yankees have done is they have taken the bat. So on the label, when you get jammed on the inside and you hit the ball on the label, you know what happens? You crack the bat. Oh, what are you?
I'm trying. Sorry.
Just leave it there. You crack the bat breaks. What's happened is they've moved the meat of the bat down here so the bat goes, instead of a straight cone, it goes down and it gets smaller. Now, a major league representative was reached out to, and they claim that the bats are within specifications. Where this came from was Anthony Volpe kept getting jammed and kept breaking his bats. So to get him away from getting jammed, they moved the meat of the bat down here, and now all of a sudden he's getting solid hits. But Jazz Chisholm hitting 2 home runs. No offense, Jazz. I'm not saying you can't hit home runs because you have before, but that torpedo bat definitely has helped. And so they have altered the bat. Now, this is why I think a lot of people have a problem with it. And this is why I know I have a problem with it. Is I just have this sneaking suspicion that if the Houston Astros were to do this with the bats, there would be riots in LA. There would be riots in, well, maybe not Boston because they cheat too. There would be riots in New York. There would be riots in Chicago. I mean, everywhere. The Astros are continuing to cheat. They found a new way. They don't do trash cans anymore. They have torpedo bats. Now, does a torpedo bat give the hitter an unfair advantage against the pitcher? I think it does, but you still have to hit the ball. It's kind of the old argument with the steroids. You still have to be able to hit the home runs. The fact that they hit 15 home runs and several of their hitters are using the torpedo bats, it is a little fishy. And, just like, and this is what I'm afraid of, if it's illegal or if it comes up that it's not, for the rules, the Yankees got a slap on the wrist when they were using Apple Watches. It wasn't that big of a deal. They just got told, bad Yankees. Nothing happened to them. Oh, but we had to lose 2 draft picks 2 years in a row, 4 draft picks, 2 first round and 2 second round, 2 years in a row. And somehow that wasn't a punishment to everybody in baseball. Wake up and smell the coffee, kids. This bat is weird. It's awkward and pitchers don't like it, but We can't say that it's illegal because Major League Baseball has said it is perfectly legal. My question on the legality is not the size. Is this an experimental bat? And if it is, experimental bats are not allowed by rules according to Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we'll see what comes about this, but I know pitchers are complaining about it, and well, it's the Yankees; they get away with anything. So we'll see
like
what
Jay
happens.
says, they could use aluminum bats if they wanted to.
Yeah. So
I digress.
I know that it's kind of weird that the Yankees have played 3 games; they have 15 home runs. The Dodgers have played 5 games; they have 12 home runs. The Orioles have played 4 games; they have 10. The A's have played 4 games; they have 7 home runs, and then you drop all the way down to 6, 6, 5, 5.
How many home runs do the Astros have?
1.
Dang it.
Uno.
Thank you. Uno mas, please.
Hello.
We need more.
Yeah. So I think the home runs will come. You're not going to see this. I know strikeouts. If you look at strikeouts, normally Astros are, I know you talked about this earlier, but they're kind of in a 20th in terms of strikeouts. They're normally at the bottom of the pack. I think you have somebody like Cam Smith, who's a kind of rookie. He's going to strike out a little bit more. So I think that the Astros, they'll kind of balance out. For right now, they've just got to figure things out.
It's 3 games, guys. Don't read into it. I mean, the White Sox aren't going to be the Central Division champs. The Astros aren't going to struggle all year hitting. Look, I'm excited for a series. Look, I'm excited tomorrow night after the game. Check us out. We'll be live after the first City Connect. The new City Connects are revealed. And I got to get this pine tar off my shirt now.
Guys, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. And we'll see you tomorrow. And go Astros. Brett, what are you saying?
Go Astros. And we need more likes. 32 likes. Come on. We got 200 people on here. Give me a big fat thumb.